Hello, grade 8s. Here we are with the ratio problems. And again, there are two types, and you have to really get good at recognizing the two. So the first type is called a part-to-part ratio problem, and the other is a part-to-whole. The questions aren't going to say that. You just kind of have to know. So here's some examples of part-to-part problems. The first one says the Lockport Raiders hockey team has a win to loss ratio of 2-5. If they won 18 games that season, how many were lost? So what we do is we take this ratio 2-5. It stands for win to loss. And this is what I get students to do. We write W for win, L for loss. We write the 2 underneath the W to 5 underneath the L. Now, the next part of the question says if they won 18 games that season, so this 18 represents wins, right? So we will, on the right side of the page here, I will write the same letters in the same order, W, L. I will put 18 under the W since it refers to wins, and 2, a box, since I don't know how many losses, that's what we're trying to find, how many were lost. And so what I'm doing is I'm setting up two equal ratios. I'll put an equal sign in between. So I want to know what, at the same ratio, what would this box be? So what we do is we draw an arrow connecting the two numbers or the two letters that were both given to us. So in this case, for example, the 2 and the 18, right? We can't draw an arrow from 5 to a box, but 2 to 18. I want to know, how do I get from 2 to 18? What number do I multiply? 2 times what? I'm looking for a multiplier. So the answer is 2 times 9. Because 18 divided by 2 is 9, so it's 2 times 9 is 18. So that tells me that to find the losses, I will have to go 5 times 9, and that will tell me at the same ratio what the losses are. So 5 times 9 is 45. And this is called a part-to-part problem, and there's my answer. All right, let's try the next one. A little bit different. So we have mom's recipe for pancakes calls for sugar, milk, and flour at a ratio of 2:1:3. If mom plans to use 10 cups of milk, how much sugar and milk will she need? So once again, I'm going to set up a ratio on my left side, 2:1:3, and so 2:1:3, and above the numbers, I want to write down letters. In this case, it is sugar, milk to flour. So S, M, and F. Okay. Now, notice that in the next sentence it says, if mom plans to use 10 cups of milk. So milk is one of these parts. It's the number that is in the center here, right? So I'm going to make another ratio on this side with the same letters, same order. S, M, F. Milk is 10, so I put the 10 here. And in the other two spots, I want to put a box where sugar is and where flour is. And I'll put an equal sign to show that I want these ratios to be equal or equivalent. All right, so now I'm going to draw the arrow like I did up here. I want to connect milk to milk because those are the only two numbers that I've been given. I don't know, I can't draw from 2 to a box and 3 to a box. So I'm going to go 1 to 10 and figure out what is the multiplier. Well, 1 times 10 is 10. So that's the multiplier. So now to get sugar, I'm going to go 2 times 10, which is 20. And to get flour, I'm going to go 3 times 10, which is 30. So you would need 20 cups of sugar and 30 cups of flour. And those are called part-to-part ratios. Let's look at part-to-whole. Here is an example of a part-to-whole problem. The ratio of boys to girls in the town of Melville is 3:7. If there are 140 children in the town, how many boys and girls are there? So do you notice that if I was to write 3 to 7 on this side like I did the other, and boys, girls, this number would have to refer to either a boy or a girl. But notice it says 140 children. That means boys and girls. So the first thing I have to do in a part to whole problem is I have to add these two together. So 3 plus 7 is 10. I need that 10 total because this number refers to total number of kids. Now watch what I do. I'm going to do this in 2 steps. I'm going to have 2 halves. On this half, I'm going to figure out the boys. And on this half, I'm going to figure out the girls. Okay, so looking only at the boys. So boys are 3 out of 10 total. So the second number I choose here is going to be 10. 3 refers to the boys. And I'm going to put boys to total. And over here, I'm going to have boys to total as well. So the total children is 140. So I put that here. And over here, where the boys are, I don't know how many boys are going to be out of 140, but I will figure it out. Over here, similarly, I'm going to have girls to the total, girls to the total. So girls will be 7 out of 10, because that was, girls are 7 out of 10, equivalent to how many girls out of the same total 140. Okay, so we set up these 2 ratios. One for the boys, 3 to 10 is how much to 140, and one for the girls, 7 to 10 is how much to 140. So now I draw my arrows. I can only draw from total to total, right? Because those are the only 2 numbers I know. Looks like 10 times what is 140? Looks like 10 times 14. And it actually is the same for both, right? 10 times 14. So now I know to get the boys, I have to go 3 times 14, which in this case is 42. And for the girls, I have to go 7 times 14, which in this case is 98. So I have 42 boys and 98 girls in that town of Melville, which has 140 kids. And I know that these 2 numbers have to add up to 140, in which case you can see that they do. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try this one here. The sub shop orders boxes of lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers at a ratio of 2 to 3 to 1. If they ordered 66 boxes one week, how many boxes of each vegetables were ordered? So quickly, 2 to 3 to 1. I have to add these together because I have to find the total boxes. This number here refers to total, right? So I have to add 2 plus 3 plus 1, which equals to 6 total. So now what I do is I need to have 3 different sections. So I will have a section for lettuce, for tomatoes, and for cucumbers. Okay, for lettuce, it's 2. So it's 2 to the total of 6 equals how much to 66. So it's lettuce to total, lettuce to total. Here I'm going to have tomato to total. This looks kind of awkward because we have too many T's here. Tomatoes to total. Here it'll be cucumbers to total, cucumbers to total. Okay, so tomatoes is 3. So it's 3 to total 6, right? Equals how much to the total 66. And cucumbers are 1. 1 to 6 is equivalent to how much to 66. So now you notice we draw arrows from 6 to 66 on each and every one because those are the only 2 numbers we know. And 6 times what is 66? So that's times 11. For all of these, right? They're all the same. So now we know that whatever we do to the total, we got to do to the lettuce, to the tomato, to the cucumber. So it's 2 times 11, 22. 3 times 11, 33. 1 times 11 is 11. And altogether, I have 66 boxes, 22 lettuce, 33 tomato, and 11 cucumber. That is ratio problems, and I hope you got that, grade 8s. Good luck.